Mark's first explicit statement that Jesus withdrew for solitary prayer appears near the end of chapter 1. He says, "And early in the morning, when it was still dark, Jesus arose and left the house, and he went away to a wilderness place, and there he was praying." Jesus' early morning prayer brings to completion a 24-hour period of ministry in Capernaum. On the previous day, Jesus taught in the synagogue and cast out a demon. And upon leaving the synagogue, he healed Peter's mother-in-law. And after sunset, it was a Sabbath, he cured many who were sick and cast out several demons. Many commentators correctly note that Mark's description of Jesus' activity in chapter 1 is intended to convey a typical day in his ministry. Fewer scholars, however, rightly point out that Mark's report of Jesus at prayer is also meant to be regarded as his typical practice. The locus of Jesus' prayer is eremos tapas, literally wilderness place. This phrase has puzzled exegetes, many of whom observe that the area surrounding Capernaum is cultivated. Mark's reference to eremos, however, points the reader back to the conclusion of the prologue. As we have just seen, the wilderness is a place of encounter with God, as well as of testing. Just as Jesus was depicted in the opening verses as steadfast in obeying God, even in the face of being tested, so is the case in the present passage. So what is the nature of Jesus' test in this instance? A hint is given by the verb katadioko in verse 36. Simon and the other disciples pursued or tracked down Jesus. This verb has hostile and negative connotations. It's the verb that the Septuagint uses to describe Pharaoh's pursuing the Israelites when they were fleeing from Egypt. That the disciples are in pursuit of Jesus, having their own agenda, rather than following him as they were called to do, is an indicator that something is amiss. Upon finding Jesus, they comment, "Everyone is looking for you." The implication seems to be that, given the success of Jesus' ministry the previous day, he should return to Capernaum in order to continue it there. But as the following verses make clear, Jesus regards their idea, inspired by the flush of success and the people's acclamation, as an instance of thinking not from God's perspective, but rather from a human point of view. Jesus then reveals in verse 38 the knowledge and resolve that result from his encounter with God in prayer. He declares, "Let us go elsewhere, into the neighboring towns, in order that I might preach there as well." Following the arrest of John the Baptist, Jesus entered Galilee and began his ministry of preaching the good news. In the present passage, Jesus not only confirms that his God-given mission is to preach, he also insists that God is now calling him to proclaim the good news beyond Capernaum. The allure of success and popularity do not hold Jesus back from responding positively to the will of his Father. And Jesus' final comment, "For this reason I have come out," can and I think should be read at two different levels. At the level of the story, it reinforces Jesus' determination to come out, that is, to leave Capernaum in order to proclaim the good news elsewhere. At the level of theology, Jesus' words indicate that he has come forth from God, both to announce and to inaugurate the coming of the kingdom. Jesus' prayer brings him knowledge of God's will and the commitment to obey it, both in terms of a particular situation early in his ministry, as well as in terms of his overall mission.